What's up, everybody? It's your boy, yours truly, Chinde, and we're back with another video again. And today, I just want to talk about something profound, something really deep. It's what makes a person a good person, you know?
Tell me!
Makes a person. So, that's what we're going to talk about today. So, it's a complicated topic. So, without further ado, we'll just kick it off and go straight in. So, what qualifies a person to be a good person? Now, this is a very tricky question, but I guess just to give it a short and quick answer is, I would say maybe the person's morals and them characteristics really determines whether this person is a good person. And not only just that, but just how you treat people and how you go about the everyday life makes you a good person. Now, the reason why I really want to bring this up is because I've seen cases where people have certain quality traits or certain characteristic traits, and more to consider them a bad person, but them just have some messed up ways. Now, you have cases like, for instance, in the workplace, right? Now, I've experienced this, right? Where you will have a case that, say for instance, like there is I think it was a video I did watch where them say different version of yourself coexist in everybody's mind. So there is only one you, but there's like 1,000 version of yourself exists in everybody's mind where you ever come in encounter with or ever come in contact with. So everybody have a different version of you in their mind. Some people probably have it as a mean person, some people probably have it as a kind person. So everybody has different versions of yourselves that exist within their mind. So as I was saying earlier, I remember a case where I used to work somewhere and you'd have persons and persons can get along, but then again you would have persons who just can't get along with other persons. Even me myself. Right now, I never really have any bad blood with anybody, really. But you know, it's like you get along better with some people than others, and that's just like, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only person that happens to a lot of people. But like I observe, it's like you observe in an environment, because when we're in an environment, I'm very observant. So if we see like we treat somebody a certain way, or let's just say they speak to persons a certain type of way, or them treat others a certain type of way. Like for example, a person we speak or treat you condescending. Worse if they know that they have a certain power over you or certain authority over you, then we try to be condescending towards it. No, that make them a bad person? No, because maybe if them pass a homeless person and they may have the urge of thirst, or you know, maybe the person thirsty or maybe the person hungry, they maybe go out of them way to give them a spare change or buy them something to eat or give them a bottle of water to drink when they're thirsty. You know, as I said, everybody is a good person, but I think we are all good persons, but what qualifies a person to be good? Like, because I sure know that if you ask somebody else, they're gonna tell you, say, oh, that person there are the wickedest one I ever meet in my life, and person of them wicked, them bad mind and this and that. You know? Because at the end of the day, we all can get along as humans. You gotta have persons where you and them mesh together and the chemistry click, and you gotta have persons where you and them just can't say eye to eye. That's just life. You know what I say? We're all not perfect, and even though in our heads and our minds we're all good people, still can't get along with some people because of certain character traits or certain personality traits where you may have, you know, as an individual. So even if you look at maybe say you look on a murderer or a gunman, right? You just kill the family down the street. Now him kill the family down the street. Now that person's family or that victim's family are gonna have that gunman as a as a bad person. They're gonna have him as a bad person because he just murdered them family a while ago. Now, maybe if you ask the family and the friends of that gunman, if you ask him counterparts, I'm gonna tell you say, oh, a good youth man. Yeah man, we know them man for much years and a good youth and really. You know, that's what I'm gonna tell you. Right? So it's kind of subjective. So at the end of the day, the people them family, they murder, they're not gonna see him as a good person, they're gonna see him as a bad person. And then now when police kick off him door and kill him, people come out in placards and say, oh, we want justice, and it's a cold-blooded murder, and he never have no gun on him, and you know, them come out and them surface, same thing like with funeral. You know what I mean? I say it could have been even a gunman too. At the funeral, you have people go up on the podium and say the best things about you. When you're a gunman and you kill much people, they're gonna go up on the podium and they're gonna say the most amazing things about that gunman. Right? Because I really want to go out and say anything bad, even though they know say he's a murderer and he killed much people. Them still have to go out and find good things to say about him. But does that make him a good person? Does that qualify him to be a good person? My answer to that would be no. Because as we were saying at the beginning of the video, I think what qualifies a person to be a good person is how you treat others. You know, treat others fairly. Your characteristics, morals, all of that combined makes you a good person. How you treat your peers, how you treat one another. You know, despite power or money, how you treat other human beings. Are you treating them the way how you would want to be treated?
I am more dictator than team player.
So I just think that is what qualifies a person to be good, because I'm not gonna lie, like there's a lot of people out there with them have certain ways that are really messed up, right? But they're not bad persons. Them just have certain messed up ways. So they're not bad, but them just have messed up ways. You know? So, you know, what I always notice is that no matter how bad of a person somebody is, or no matter how that person and somebody else can't see eye to eye or cannot get along, or they might treat the other person badly, no matter what, that person always have them supporters, meaning them family, them friends, you know, because as I said earlier, you can be good to somebody, right? To all your peers, then you can be bad to somebody else, you know. So all of those peers where hang out with the individual will tell us he's a good person. He's a good person. Whereas if them get along with each other, they're gonna tell you that, right? Despite you and that person can't get along, they're gonna make more say maybe the problem is you, you know. And it's just funny how life is, because you know, everybody are gonna have them supporters. The gunman are gonna have him supporters. People will love him and support him. You know, person will speak down to people when them there at work. Them are gonna have for them family and friends who support them. So at the end of the day, we have to remember, say, no matter how bad of a person you are, always I gotta have like people will support you. You know. So at the end of the day, it's like you have to remember to say, even Lucifer, when he rebelled against God in a heaven, you have to remember say 1/3 of the angels them in a heaven, they did side with Lucifer. Imagine that 1/3 of the angels them in a heaven was on Satan's side. You know? So that's what I show you, and everybody have Satan or Lucifer as this bad person that cause all this chaos on earth. But him have 1/3 of him supporters, then we are back him. And if you go to them and ask them, they're going to tell you Lucifer the best thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I show you. No matter how bad of a person you are, you always have persons who can maybe get along with you, or you gotta have your family and friends to support you and all of that. So if somebody come now and say, yo, you know, I say Kevin stay such and such, and Kevin stay the way here, or Kevin do this and we never like it, or you know what I'm saying? Them are go quick for back Kevin, because Kevin will show that version of himself them. So version of Kevin where you are tell them about, them don't know that Kevin them don't know that Kevin this, so them want to tell us, say, yo, that sound like Kevin, you know. Maybe the problem is you. Maybe the problem is you. You are the problem. You know, they're not gonna look on it and say, okay then, maybe Kevin did wrong, you know, Kevin maybe should have do that, you know. maybe Kevin should have do that, and I can't believe Sam. I know Kevin for so many years, and this is how Kevin a treat. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna be hypocritical and biased because of them friend or them family. So they're gonna feel like say you are the problem. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I say. Like, there's a lot of good people out there, but just with bad characteristics. Now, that's why I'm gonna ask the question: what qualifies a person to be a good person? Because would you consider that person to be a bad person? Because I sure know that if, as mama said, I sure know if you pass somebody on the road and say that person is hungry or thirsty, they maybe spare them a change, or they maybe give them water for quenching thirst, or they maybe give them food for urge them hunger. You know? So they're good persons, but them just have bad characteristics or bad personality traits. They just have some messed up ways about them. Now, maybe two of them have messed up ways about them doesn't make them a bad person. I guess you can still say they're good people. Good people, but them just treat you badly. Or them just talk to you a certain way. And they would want to be spoken to in that manner, but they're speaking to you in that manner. So that's why I'm gonna say it's like it's a whole package. What qualifies a person to be a good person is it's a complete package. You cannot do half and you not do the next half. You know? So you have to treat others fairly, you have to treat other people with kindness, you have to have good morals, you have to have good characteristics of yourself. You know, and it's very hard for people to see faults within themselves. Because remember, the only way you can even see a reflection is if you look in a mirror. And even when you look in a mirror, you're not physically seeing yourself in real life. You just see a reflection of yourself. So it's like, it's very hard for we see what's wrong with ourselves until we can like take ourselves and see ourselves from somebody else's perspective. That's how they can see a part, because that's how people are hypocrites plenty of time, because you will not have a conflict with somebody about something and you yourself are doing the very same thing when you are complaining to the person about. So it's very hard, that's what I'm saying. The person without sin, let him cast the first stone, because it's very hard for us to see our own faults within ourselves, because in our eyes, we're perfect. We never do nothing wrong. You know, we're not taking accountability because we weren't the one who was wrong in the first place, or the other person do it wrong, right? So it's hard can take accountability for certain things because everybody see themselves perfect. They never do nothing wrong yet. But until you can see yourself from a different perspective, from somebody else's angle, you can really see how messed up you are. And you wouldn't look and say, well, yeah, somebody realistic. Somebody realistic, but it's hard for you to see that. It's hard for you to see it because you can't look within yourself and see your own faults. I just feel like a lot of people are not self-aware and they don't take accountability for their actions. They're quick for really want to cast judgment or blame other persons. So make this video not too a long one, but to really wrap it up. With all of that being said, you know, people treating others unfairly, people being condescending to them one another, people just doing something that they would want for themselves. Does that make you a bad person? I mean, the definition of, I guess everybody's definition would have been different. At the end of the day, what qualifies a person to be a good person is just have good characteristics and just treat everybody fairly. That's really it, you know. But as I say, I guess people can have good qualities or you can be a good person, but you just have messed up characteristic traits. So that's just it. So that being said, I just want to say thanks for watching Outside the Surface with your boy, yours truly, JV. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like, hit that button, subscribe, and remember, stay real, and there's always more beneath the surface. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Yo.